Growing up as an adopted person, I always knew and felt that there was something slightly missing.
It's not been easy. There's a lot of shame in my story, and I want to inspire people to show that what I've been through, I'm still trying to live a good life.
When I was adopted, I think my adoptive parents, they actually told me I had only 2 days of training. And in that time, I don't think they were really told anything. I think it was very much a basic of, here's a child, they will have some issues, and that's it.
Were my parents prepared to be adoptive parents? Looking back, I'm not sure they were.
Gap between what adoptive families are looking for and what adopted children bring.
When you start off being an adoptive parent, you go into your training courses and you're taught all this stuff about trauma and loss, the attachment cycle. But I think by the point that you maybe have a child placed with you, a lot of that training has maybe gone out of the window and you're starting off anew like any parent is.
When people adopt, there's this blank slate narrative that you're adopting, a brand new baby, that this baby will be yours and they're gonna act in this way, that way. But at the end of the day, parenting an adopted child is parenting a traumatized child.
My experience as an adopted person was difficult, traumatic. It created a lot of anxiety in my nervous system, which I spent a lifetime trying to manage. There were lots of experiences when I was small that were, on reflection, trauma responses to everyday situations that my parents would not have classed as traumatising, but they were to me. But squashed down all the emotion, all the questions, all the confusion around adoption, just squashed it down in order to be a super good girl so that I wouldn't be given away again.
It took me going through 2.5 years of therapy to be able to come to terms with my adoption, what happened, and where I want to be in the future.
I knew I was adopted from a very, very early age. It's just something you bury deep inside, and you just kind of just go along with your life.
For many people who adopt a child, they can't verbalise their feelings, and sometimes they behave really badly, and an adoptive parent doesn't understand. Well, we're doing everything for them, we're giving them everything, we're looking after them. Why are they treating us like this? Why are they behaving like this?
I was terrible in my teens. A lot of my trauma was playing out. I had a lot of mental distress, but I didn't realise that it was mental distress.
For an adopted child, there is always some kind of trauma there, although the child might not be displaying that.
So it's, lifelong trauma, really.
My adoption, I would say it was considered a taboo subject in my house. I think through fear of upsetting my adoptive parent, my mum, by mentioning it. I didn't want to hurt her feelings. In terms of growing up in my teenage years, to be candid, my adoption was swept that much under the carpet. I didn't even allow thoughts of finding my birth family or even see that as a remote possibility of entering into my head.
My mum, she wasn't equipped to answer questions about the adoption in the wider world, so we all had to pretend that I was their child because she couldn't face the fact that I wasn't.
A lot of adopted kids come from feeling like, I was given up, I was abandoned, I'm not good enough. They carry that on. When they hit failures like I've lost a job, that hit me quite hard. I thought, I'm doomed to just lose everything in life. I think that's partly to do with the shame that sometimes adopted kids can carry from the prior life, from the past. It was definitely for me.
you mustn't have secrets with an adopted child. You've always got to be open with your adopted son or daughter, always. They've got to be able to come to you, but not necessarily to come to you. You should go to them. You should make conversation open for them constantly so they know that, wow, we talk about this openly, you know, I'm adopted. Because if you're ashamed to say that you've adopted a child, if you are ashamed, then you're raising a child who becomes ashamed of themselves.